Hello, welcome to another edition of Southfield Discovered. I'm Christina Johnson. In today's episode, we'll be learning about the history of Lathrop Village and its architectural development. Now, here's Pat Gore, Membership Chair for the Lathrop Village Historical Society.
When you ask a Lathrop Village resident about the architecture of their city, they often think of a colonial village. It's not surprising. The building they most associate with Lathrop Village was the original real estate office, fondly referred to as Old Town Hall. Here, Louise Lathrop had looked to Independence Hall in Philadelphia for inspiration. It was for many years a landmark on Southfield Road, and the only building with any real historical significance from Southfield down to the Detroit River. Unfortunately, the building was lost to a developer's wrecking ball in 1992. Then there is the Municipal Building, the Community Congregational Church, the U.S. Post Office, and financial establishments, all of colonial identity. Certainly, from a quick glance down Southfield Road, one gets the impression of Old Williamsburg, right here in Michigan. But upon looking further, one would discover that Lathrop Village is a rare collection of eclectic structures, no two alike. We owe much of the credit for our city's beauty to Louise Lathrop Kelly. In the early 1910s, Louise and her mother Annie, who had been active in real estate development in Detroit, began extensive acquisitions of Southfield Township farmland. They paid $30 an acre for their purchases. By the mid-1920s, they had accumulated 1,000 acres and proceeded with their dream of developing a planned community from scratch and incorporating many ideas new to housing at that time. She advertised Lathrop Townsite as offering room to grow and healthful air to breathe, and intended it to be a community of carefully selected families to encourage settlement. She brought water and sewer lines, mail delivery, gravel streets, sidewalks, and shade trees to Lathrop Townsite, and a school. Donating over 3 acres of land for the school, Louise oversaw its construction and named it after her mother. Later, she arranged bus transportation with the Detroit Street Railway Company so Townsite children could attend high school. Her maternal grandmother was English, and from her, she learned to love English Tudor and the cottage styles of building. After a visit to California, Louise incorporated the bungalow and Spanish mission styles. With these ideas in mind, she set out to create an entirely new community with strict building codes she would be able to enforce. To begin with, lots had to be a minimum of 50 feet in width by 150 feet in depth. An attached garage was a must, unheard of in Detroit at the time. The new homes were to be made of face brick, stone, or stucco, and had to include a built-in incinerator and conforming roofing materials. Each home must sit in harmony with its neighbor. The plans of all homes had to meet with Louise's approval before construction could commence. In other words, prospective residents had to subscribe to the Lathrop vision if they wanted to live in a Lathrop townsite. The tight control she had over the community was also evident in the regulations for resale of property. Owners wishing to sell were originally required to list their homes with the Lathrop Realty Company she ran with her husband, Charles Kelly. The street names reflect her divided taste as well. We have Bungalow Drive in California, along with the Spanish San Jose Boulevard and El Dorado Place. From the English, she borrowed Cambridge, Ramsgate, and Middlesex. She planted stately elms approximately every 20 feet, giving the community a park-like atmosphere. In 1924, Louise Lathrop published Gateways to Happiness, a book explaining her ideas for new homes and her philosophy on community planning. The book also included 125 designs for houses. At the time, this book drew considerable praise and was hailed as farsighted. As an example, she listed and illustrated squares of masonry which she felt showed the beauty of American face brick. She incorporated this patterned masonry when she built Annie Lathrop Elementary School, now occupied by Akiva Hebrew Day School. There are 5 distinctive chimneys on the school with beautiful detail and capped crowns. On the face of both the north and south wings are 6 squares, each incorporating the exact designs shown in her booklet. If anyone is interested in exquisite workmanship not likely to be duplicated in the near future, I suggest you pull off the road and glance across the street at this truly beautiful building. For her home, affectionately called the House in the Woods, she used the English Tudor style. The beautiful masonry, the colonnade and arches, the slate roof, the remarkable stately chimneys, the leaded windows, the 3-car garage, and the approaching red brick drive make this home one of the most outstanding in the South Oakland County area. The early homes of the 1920s show her preference for English Tudor and Spanish Mission. However, as is typical in the Midwest, colonial revival homes predominate. After World War II, ranches and tri-levels were built in great number. Let me show you some of these beautiful and individualistic homes. The Lathrop Village Historical Society was formed in an effort to save the old town hall. Although unsuccessful, the society did save Annie Lathrop School, the building now housing the Okiva Hebrew Day School. Currently, the Lathrop Village Historical Society is working on obtaining a historical designation for the city.
Thank you for watching this episode of Southfield Discovered. I'm Christina Johnson saying have a great day.